What's up, everybody? Chris of Midlife Crisis Media here for part 4 in my Video Game Collection 2023 live streams regarding my PlayStation 4 collection, which is freaking gigantic, so big that it's going to have to be like a 6-part series. And I need to adjust this camera because it's ticking me off. There we go, that's better. I think it's just going to keep sliding, though. Ooh, you. How's that? That's better. All right, so I need some retractions. Well, not retractions, but I screwed up in previous streams. I neglected to talk about something, and I realized I did something else out of order, which is kind of stupid. But let's just start off with the stuff that I screwed up on. So I think it was last stream I talked about the Friday the 13th game. Well, I have the Ultimate Slasher Edition, and I just... big-ass thing sitting in my living room right where all my PlayStation 4 games are, and I just totally forgot to bring it with me into the stream. It's pretty much staring at me in the face, and I totally forgot. So this Ultimate Slasher Edition came with the game, and also comes with this Jason mask. If I can remember how to open it. There we go. Yeah, it comes with this replica of the hockey mask that is still packaged. I've never opened it. Don't plan to. I think it's a really cool collectible. It's from NECA, the collectible action figure company. And it also comes with a poster, and I do believe the poster is in with the game, so I probably showed that off in the stream. So there is that. My bad. I don't know how I completely neglected to take this off the shelf. But on the back, it's got some pictures of the game. Not much. They're super dark. You can't really see what's going on. But I wanted to get this. I waited until it was discounted severely before I bought it because I didn't know if I would like this kind of game. I don't normally like online multiplayer games like this. So I waited until this was very discounted. And when I finally did, a lot of other people that I know from YouTube, like Captain Algebra, and a bunch of other people had already bought a copy of it, and we all kept on getting together to play, and I ended up really liking this kind of game to the point where I have bought multiple games in this genre afterwards. So, it's a win. And then last week, I also grabbed the wrong game to talk about in the stream. It was the last game I talked about. I had them out of order because it was 2 games in the same series, numbered games, and I had them swapped for some reason on the shelf. And I grabbed one instead of the other. So the game I'm going to start off with tonight is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold, or Trails. I always get that screwed up. Trails of Cold Steel 3. Last week I talked about 4. This should have been the one I talked about. I should be talking about 4 right now. But action RPG series from Falcom, people that bring you the Ys series, which I love. I have not played many of these before. I have played a little bit of the original, I do believe, which I have for the PS3. And I've just been trying to get the rest of them just for collection's sake, maybe. I know part 2 is still kind of pricey, and there's multiple spin-offs to this series. I saw a couple of them this past weekend. I didn't pick any of those up, but I'll play through these eventually. So how's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody's Thanksgiving? You get any awesome Black Friday swoops? I will be doing another stream tomorrow for the end of the month pickups. Just so happens that I should be doing that tonight, but Thursday is also my collection stream night, so I'm just going to move the collection stream over until tomorrow evening. So if you want to see what I picked up in November, and there's a lot of cool stuff, especially on my Black Friday stuff, come back tomorrow night. Ultimate Friday Edition is sweet. Shame about the crazy problems the team had that made it went through. Yeah, there was a whole, how many years was it that they couldn't update it because of the lawsuit from Victor? I can't remember his name, Victor something, the guy who wrote the original movie. And he basically, as long as the court case was ongoing, there was no way that anybody could do anything that had to do with Jason until that court case was done. And once it finally ended, no one was really playing the game anymore, so it didn't really matter. Anyway, it is a shame. I like the game a lot. It got me into that type of game, so that's a thing. But next up, we're going to talk about the only Lego game I have for the PS4, and that is Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens for the longest time, this was the last Star Wars Lego game we got until the Skywalker Saga came out, which covers all 9 numbered films, which I still need to pick up. I almost bought it this weekend, but I didn't. But I did end up getting this on sale or discount or clearance or something like that at the local Target, and it was the deluxe edition that has this like foil and holographic cover, which comes off, and it's always falling off on my shelf. I'll hear like a little and I'll be like, what is that? And I'll look, and it's this thing laying on the floor because it fell off. The stickum on the back is not very strong. And the deluxe edition comes with a Finn in his Stormtrooper gear Lego figure. And like there was a wraparound that showed you stuff with the game. I think that's it, actually. I do believe it comes with a bunch of DLC. Does it say on the back here? No. Don't remember what made this deluxe outside of that. But yeah, it's the Lego retelling of Force Awakens, which I've pretty much liked every single Lego game I've ever bought. Star Wars. I haven't really played. I had the Harry Potter collection. I have not played that. But I've played through all of the Star Wars ones that came out prior to this. I'm trying to think what other ones I played. I think I played a little bit of the Batman one. But I love the series. I just need to actually just like, maybe just for some easy beats, just plow through a few of these. But I do need to get that Skywalker Saga. Does this actually tell you? Maybe is there something inside? It comes with a season pass for whatever that was. And the Empire Strikes Back character pack. That's the extras. Okay, sure. Whatever. I'll play through this one eventually, but like I said, I love the Lego games, so why the hell not? Move that over here. Let's see what's next. Next up is a limited run game that I saw. I want to say Game Grumps playing on one of their streams, and I thought it looked really, really fun. I thought it would be fun to have as a multiplayer game when friends come over and stuff like that. And I did end up playing this at a friend's house, and we ended up playing it for like almost an hour. And we're like, this is simple and stupid, but it's fun and funny. And that is Lethal League. So yeah, I think I saw the great Game Grumps playing this. So this is a multiplayer game, 1 to 4 players. I only played it 2-player. I think because we only had 2 controllers. But it's basically like playing dodgeball. There is a ball that bounces all over the screen, and you have to like smack it towards the other person. So it's like a mix between like volleyball and dodgeball. And the more you hit it, the faster it starts bouncing around, and eventually it's going to smack somebody, and then they go bouncing around the room. And if you can imagine 4 people in this like screen-wide arena smacking this thing around, that would be absolutely nuts. But it looks super fun, and it actually is. There's a bunch of different characters you can choose from. I don't remember them being any different. It's just the way they look. But it is super fun as a multiplayer game. I haven't tried it single player. I don't think it would be any fun single player. But I really enjoyed it. Doing Bonza, mate. We don't have Thanksgiving in Australia, but I'm always thankful for some new Midlife Crisis. Oh, well, thank you, Stubby. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Next up, we have a game I got off of a friend of mine. He was getting rid of some of the games in his collection. He's like, "You want this?" And he's like, I'm never going to play it. And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." And it's Lichdom Battle Mage, and I do believe this is a first-person wizard game. I always love my first-person shooters. It gets magic combat right, says IGN. We can all believe what IGN says, right? Right. Yeah, battle your way through the armies of evil in a fierce fight for justice. Doesn't really show you much, but yeah, it's a first-person wizard game, and like your attacks are spells and stuff. And that always sounded really cool. And I kept on seeing this at the local Target in like the clearance bin, and I always find something else to buy instead. I'm like, I don't want to buy 13 freaking games. I'll just stick to what's over here, and I'll always come back for that, and it just never did. And then my friend offered it to me, probably cheaper than I would have gotten it at Target, and this is still brand new, so I'll play that eventually. Here we have 2 games in a series. I still need to get the other game. There's 3 games total. There's the original, there's the prequel, and then there's the sequel. So we'll start off with Life is Strange Limited Edition. This is, I do believe, kind of like a Telltale game. I have not played it myself. I probably should. Maybe I'll play it this weekend. I don't know. But I do believe it's like a Telltale game where it's all about the choices you make that'll affect the way the story unfolds. But your character starts to see, I do believe, visions of the future and starts to try to make changes to make sure things don't end up bad. And I did get the limited edition, which comes in an big-ass outer box with some extras. Comes with the Max Caulfield Memories in Time, which is like a scrapbook. I guess it's just to help you get into the lead character's head a little bit. And it also comes with the soundtrack, which actually has 22 freaking tracks on it, which is pretty awesome. I love getting soundtracks in like special editions. I hate it when the soundtrack is like 6 tracks. It's like, why did you even freaking bother? But this game was like critically acclaimed. I heard everybody talking about it. I know Church the Game Grinder was singing its praises. So I wanted to check it out. And why can't I get this thing closed? Why won't you get in there? What is going on with this? I'm sorry, everybody, wasting everybody's time. It's futzing with this damn box. There we go. So I need to play this at some point. And then I remember getting this on the clearance sale that Square Enix would have like once a year, maybe twice a year or something like that. And I got the limited edition of the prequel, which is Life is Strange Before the Storm limited edition. And this also comes with a art book, The Art of Before the Storm, hardbound, which is basically the same thing. It's like a little scrapbook looking thing. And this also comes with the soundtrack, which has 15 tracks of licensed songs from a bunch of indie artists, if I remember correctly, which is awesome. And now there's also part 2, which is the sequel to the original, which I need to get in order to finish off the whole thing. And I should probably buy that before I play any of these, now that I think about it. And there's a bunch of extra stuff in here, too. Includes the game, the book, the box, a pack with character stuff, a soundtrack, an art book, and what is it called? Mixtape mode. I guess it has something to do with the music in the game. Like I said, I'll play it eventually. Here's the game itself. Have not actually opened it yet. Haven't had the time. Also want to get the second one. If I can get the limited edition of the second one, that'd be fantastic. Here's a limited run game I'm probably going to get rid of. I bought it thinking it was going to be something I could play through real quick. Never even bothered. It's called Lily. And I do believe this is a platformer or like a 3D action game. I don't know. Welcome to the mysterious island of Geos. This was like one of the an early limited run game that I picked up. You can see it's like number 77. Maybe it's a graphic adventure game. I don't know. It's been a long time. This is like one of the earliest ones I bought. I'll play it eventually, or like I said, I might just get rid of it. I don't know. I picked this one up. I didn't get the big box set version. There's a sequel of this out there too I should probably get. That is Little Nightmares, the complete edition. So it has the game and the expansion pass. So yeah, it's the complete edition. And it's like a side-scrolling platformer, but it's like horror-ish, I guess. Kind of gothy. Remember a lot of people talking about it, and I said I should probably pick it up because it sounded fun. Never bothered, and now there's a part 2 out, and I don't own that. Here's another limited run game. This one is a 8-bit version of like a horror game called Lone Survivor. And there's not much on the back. It just says, how you choose to survive is up to you. And there's some pictures of gameplay, but it's so freaking dark. Come on, limited run. Come on. Really? Really? But all I heard was like 8-bit horror game, and I was like, I'm there. This one was a limited run game. I remember this game came out a while ago, and then I don't know why it took so long for a limited run to get their hands on it. Maybe it was a licensing thing. I don't know. But this was one of the first games I bought once I found out that limited run now has that deal with Amazon instead of Best Buy, where you could get some of the limited run games a while ago. Now it's Amazon. When the games get released to the public through limited run, you can also buy them in like a different cover. I guess the versions you get from the limited run website have like one cover, and the ones you can get at Amazon have a different one. But I picked up a copy of Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. I remember every single person talking about this when it was first released. And it is a 4-player co-op shooter. I do believe it is a twin-stick shooter. And that always sounded fun to me. I love me a good twin-stick shooter. But the name is kind of strange, though, but whatever. I think it just makes it sound more quirky. I'm there for it. This one is like, I would consider this a diamond in the rough for the PS4. It's available for a bunch of other consoles. I do believe it's available for the Switch. I think it's available for the Xbox One. But I bought this on discount on Amazon one day, and I was kind of like, if I think this is what I think it is, I think I'm going to like it. And it turned out I was right. So basically, this is a remake or a retelling, not a remaster. It's more like a remake of Solstice on the NES, which is one of my all-time favorites NES games, and that's called Lumo. And it is an isometric platformer, like a puzzle platformer, which is exactly what Solstice is. The character even kind of looks like the character from Solstice with the wizard cap and everything. And that's exactly what it is. It's like almost like it's either a sequel or a remake of Solstice, and I was all over that. So if you like Solstice on the NES, pick this one up. It's fantastic. This is one of the first open world games I ever got into. Helped get me into open world games. I bought it early on because I'm a huge fan of the movie franchise, so this is a licensed game. It supposedly ties into the last movie that came out. There's a new one coming out next year, but the one that came out, I think, in 2015, 2016, and that is Mad Max. Definitely better than the NES game that I beta tested back in the late 80s, early 90s. This is an open world game. It's a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road. It has a lot of characters from Fury Road in there. The War Boys are in there and all that kind of stuff. Some of the characters show up. There's like the Bullet Farm and all that from the movie. But you never really see Immortan Joe or anything like that. Or Furiosa. And Mad Max, if I recall, it's been a while since I played this. Mad Max is not Australian in this. But it's like I said, it's an open world game, follows all of the open world rules, but the environment is what got me because I love the Mad Max films. So right off the bat, it's fantastic. So go around the wasteland, doing missions, upgrading your car, getting new cars, upgrading your weapons and your fighting styles. The fighting is like playing the Arkham games, the way you can like jump between bad guys and stuff. And you get all sorts of really cool upgrades for everything. It's fun when it comes to the car combat, when it comes to the hand-to-hand combat. The platforming, if there is any, is really fun. And it's also really cool to just run around the wasteland and find like little hidden like secrets and stuff. Like there's a submarine out in the middle of the wasteland that I found, and I climbed up all the way to the top and like looked out over the wasteland. It's super, super cool. I found a bunch of like a part of a house, and there was a couple of skeletons, and it turns out they were a couple, and they died together, and they wrote like a big heart on the wall, and they left a little story behind. It's really, really cool. If you love Mad Max, like post-apocalyptic stories and stuff like that, check this one out. It's super fun. Next up is a horror game. I don't remember who it was that was streaming this on Twitch or something, but I was like, I need that. Or someone posted a picture of it on Facebook. That might have been it. But it's called Maid of Sker, and it says, "Brave the nightmares of the quiet ones. Do not panic. Don't even breathe." Maid of Sker is a first-person survival horror set in a remote hotel. Experience this gory and macabre world inspired by a famous British folklore story. And the funny thing is, I suggested this game to Shondo of the Baddest Dudes, because when the Baddest Dudes was always streaming on YouTube, a few years back when they had like a bunch of people doing it, like it wasn't just Shondo, it was a bunch of other people. One of them, damn it, I don't remember her name now. It's going to drive me crazy. Damn it. Let me look it up real quick. It's going to drive me absolutely crazy if I don't remember her, if I don't figure out what her name is. Shit. Everybody, hang on for a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a minute looking this up. Go to my videos. Come on. Back. She was in my last video games, or what was it, game or movies that you wished had a video game or whatever. I can't remember how I worded it. Movies that would make great video games, part 5. And it is KJ Del Rey. KJ, she used to stream on the Baddest Dudes channel. She went on her own. I told Shondo he needs to buy this because this woman on the cover looks like KJ. And he was like, you know what? She does. I need to buy that right away. I think this is also available for the PS5. Next up we have, I purchased this again. I used to have this for the Xbox One. I beat it. One of the only games that I 100% completed. I think it was the first one. And then I did this on the Xbox One. You don't have like a platinum on the Xbox One like reward, like the achievement system. It's just like you 100%ed it, I guess. You got all of the achievements, trophies or PS4. But I 100%ed this on the Xbox One, and then the other game, the second game I ever did that to was on the PS4, and that was Cat Quest. I platinumed that. But we're talking Man-Eater, and I've fallen asleep watching YouTube, and for some reason, YouTube likes when I fall asleep and the video ends. You know how it will cycle to another video? It always likes to cycle back to my stuff for some reason. I don't know why. So I'll wake up watching myself, and I'll be like, "Why am I on TV?" No, I hate watching myself. And one time I remember I woke up and it was me talking about like my pickups, and I kept referring to this game as Manhunter or whatever, and instead of Man-Eater. But whatever, you play as a giant shark. Well, you start off as a tiny shark. You start off as a baby shark. Mama got killed by a poacher or whatever who's on a reality TV show, and your goal is to get revenge for him killing your mama. And it's like a role-playing game almost, because you gain experience, and as you gain experience, you get bigger and bigger, and eventually you're like a freaking megalodon. And you get armor sets that you can attach to yourself and all that, and you get powers. There's electric powers. I kept on going for the bone power, which is like a shield, and it helps you do more damage, and you can absorb some damage and not take a lot of hits. One of them is like shadow, I guess was like the power. There was a whole bunch. I didn't bother with a bunch of them. I was all about just killing things as fast as possible before they can kill me. So I stuck with the bone armor. And it's really, really fun. You get to take on a bunch of other underwater creatures as bosses, like a killer whale and giant crocodiles and stuff like that. And eventually you're taking out people on boats. Eventually you flop around on land and eat people. It is super fun. And there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs that are underwater. And that was one of the reasons why I 100%ed it, was I wanted to find all these Easter eggs. Like you find SpongeBob SquarePants' house, his little pineapple house. I found Pennywise in the sewers. So I found the rift under the ocean from Pacific Rim. It is super fun. I was sitting there going like, the people who made this game love movies. I love movies. This is my kind of jam. I had so much fun playing it. Did not realize, though, that they were going to release this Apex edition. There was DLC that added on another section of story after I beat the game, and I never went back and bought it until I saw that they were selling this on Amazon like dirt cheap for the Apex edition, which is basically the complete edition. It's the core game and the DLC. So I got rid of my Xbox One version, got it on the PS4 so I can play it on my PS5 because it has the PS5 upgrade. And actually, I would not have a problem playing through this again. It is super fun. Jaws Unleashed. If you like Jaws Unleashed, yeah, Man-Eater's awesome. It is like, it's just like a turn your brain off, just fun game. Like I beat that, I want to say, like within less than a week, and I had so much fun doing it. I almost did it again, but I was like, no, I should probably move on to a different game. I think right after I played that, I played Cyberpunk. Next up, we have Marsupilami. What is it called? Hoob Adventure. So this started showing up on Facebook. A bunch of my Facebook friends who are gamers were talking about this, and it was released as like a budget title. And I think it was Movie Tom who said that he played through this with his kid, and they had a lot of fun doing it. Like a game that was this cheap and all that, and it looks like a budget game being this much fun to play, even for an adult. is unheard of. So like I ended up picking it up dirt cheap. And if you remember, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Disney like block of cartoons that used to be on, there was a Marsupilami cartoon that they had on. Turns out it's based on a French comic book character or something, and Disney licensed it to make this cartoon. And it's basically about like a cheetah? I think he's supposed to be like a cheetah or something that has this super long tail, and he does like weird things with it, like for adventuring. And I guess that's part of the mechanics of the game is you have this super long tail that you can use for whatever. And then I guess the license ran out because I was like, when I was seeing this game popping up on YouTube, or not YouTube, on Facebook, I was like, where's the Disney logo? I'm like, this isn't a Disney game? No, the license ran out. They don't own the rights to it anymore, so it went back to whoever. So I thought it sounded really fun. A lot of people were saying that it actually was really fun, so I decided to pick it up. And like I said, I got it dirt cheap. And I hear it's really short, so that's like a really quick beat as well. Here's one that like a lot of people were whining about. That is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, so technically Marvel vs. Capcom 4. This one is not sprite-based. This one is like all CG, polygon characters. I guess I played it a little bit. I played a little bit of the story mode. The story mode was a little wonky. I was not digging the way it was like bringing the characters together. It was kind of silly. But the speed is there, if I remember correctly. All the characters are kind of... Well, that was the thing, was I think this is after Marvel... Yeah, that was what the reason a lot of my friends were hating it. Marvel was not allowing certain characters to be used in games that had Marvel on it. So, because they were having that feud with Fox before they bought them out, they weren't allowed to have any characters from X-Men or Deadpool or Fantastic Four in here because Fox owned them, and they were like, we're not going to give Fox any free advertising for Marvel. You're not allowed to use any of those characters. So, like, Wolverine ain't in here, Cyclops, like I said, Deadpool, none of them are in here. It's all characters that are from Marvel movies by Marvel. So now Doctor Strange is in here, and Captain Marvel, and the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. I didn't have a problem with that because I never used Wolverine that much anyway. I really liked more of the Capcom side of things when it came to this game. But like Spider-Man was always fun. But I guess it was just the way some of the mechanics work pissed people off. The story, I guess, pissed a lot of people off. This PlayStation version comes with Captain Marvel in her Carol Danvers flight suit before she became Captain Marvel. I didn't have a problem with it, but I never beat it, so that could also be a thing. So I'll play it eventually. You recently picked up Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. By the way, what's up, Albert Wesker? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Picked this one up at MoGameCon from a fellow YouTuber who was in a couple of my videos back early in the way back. That is Matterfall. So I was at MoGameCon. This was the first year I went, so this was last year, not this year. And I walk up to one of the tables, and the guy that's running the table looks at me, and he goes, "Hey, Chris, how's it going?" I'm like, "Do I know you?" He's like, "Yeah, don't you recognize me?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, I really don't like it when people put me on the spot. And it's really awkward. And he's like, "You don't recognize me?" And he's in front of everybody, he's doing this. And I'm like, "No, I don't." And he's like, "Come on, I was in a couple of your videos." And I was like, "Oh." And I'm looking at him, and I just could not place the face. And I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm sorry." And he goes, "Come on, dude, come on." And I'm like, "Are you from the Game Deflators?" And he's like, "No, I'm Down Phoenix." And I go, "Oh." And I did not want to say it to his face, but I was like, "Dude, you lost a lot of weight," and he shaved because he used to have a big bushy beard and he was kind of heavyset. And he lost a lot of weight and he shaved and he changed his hairstyle too. And I was like, I did not recognize him at all. And I was like, "Oh shit." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh, Down Phoenix. Okay, yeah. Nice to meet you in person." He goes, Yeah. Buy some of my shit. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I picked this up from his table, and this is from, I do believe, Play Asia, and it is like a twin stick shooter, but you're like a mech, and it sounded pretty fun. So it was dirt cheap too. I think he sold this to me for $10, and you can see it's got the Asian PlayStation label on it. So yeah, why not? Bought a bunch of stuff from him that day. Also going game hunting, drop the like. Nice. Yeah, I did some game hunting this past weekend. Black Friday sales in Wisconsin. Went up to Wisconsin, visited some friends from YouTube, and we all went around a good chunk of the state looking for games. possible good stuff. I'll be doing my pickup video that will feature a lot of that tomorrow, if you're interested. Here is I do believe, a remake of an old PlayStation 1 game, and that is Medieval. I never played any of the Medieval games back in the day when they were relevant, so I really have no nostalgia for this. I remember hearing about it all the time. There was 2 of them on the PlayStation 1, and a couple of my friends had played them, and they said they were fun. I just never got around to playing it. But it's like a third-person hack-and-slash platformer where you're playing as like this undead soldier. And I wanted to play, just like I said, never got around to it. So I figured this is the way to do it. And then we have these. Well, this, I guess. Okay. So this is the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2. I do believe I have... I could have sworn I had... No, I have the collection that has 1 through 6 on the GameCube. I do believe. But I didn't want to buy it again. Doesn't matter what console it's on. It's always going to look the same. The games are pixel. They're not going to change. But this one actually has Mega Man 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we had Mega Man 7 was the PlayStation... No, sorry. Can't talk. Mega Man 7 was the Super Nintendo version. It was the Super Nintendo sequel. And then Mega Man 8 was the one that came out on the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn. And then 9 and 10... were digital-only games that were released on like the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Live Store. And 9 was the one that I think... Was it 9 or 10? There was like a physical edition that was given out to certain people. I can't remember which one it was, though. But you could only get 9 and 10 digitally. So I was glad to buy this just so I could play 9 and 10. I own 8 already on the PlayStation 1. I wanted to be able to play 9 and 10 and 7 because I don't own 7. For the Super Nintendo. That's a super expensive game. They actually have it at my local game store the last time I was there. What was that, August? I doubt they have it now, but they had it then. And it was pretty expensive. It was like $300 or something, complete in the box. But yeah, I had to get that one just so I could play a couple of the games that aren't available to me because of money. You're still collecting games? That's awesome, dude. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All hail the collectors. I needed to get this. I got this at Toys R Us. I think this was the last thing I bought from Toys R Us before they all shut down in the U.S. That is Metal Gear Solid 5, the definitive edition. So it has Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain. I remember I bought Ground Zeroes thinking it was a full game. I was like, why are they releasing a Metal Gear Solid game for like $30? And then I played it and I was like, oh, this game is like 30 minutes long. It was supposed to like whet your appetite to kind of show you what was going to happen in the full game once it was released. But I don't think they really told people that that's what it was going to be. So a lot of people were pissed that they paid like $30 for like, it was like $1 a minute for a 30-minute game. I guess you could make more out of it by just running around and looking at everything. But then maybe a 2-hour game. But when it came to Metal Gear Solid 5 proper, the Phantom Pain, it's like an open world Metal Gear Solid game. And that's crazy. I have not played a Metal Gear game since the second one. I started playing the third one, and I couldn't really get into it. I don't know why. I should probably try it again. They've got a remake coming out, so maybe I'll just wait for that. Haven't played 4, haven't played 5. I played a bunch of the ones on the PSP, and I have a collection for the PS3, so maybe I'll just do it that way. But Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 are fantastic. I should have kept going, but I didn't. I hear lots of great things about this, and the complete version is the way to go for me. Got everything at once. So, you know me and my limited run games for when it comes to SNK fighting games. I love these compilations of old SNK games that Metal Gear, I almost called it Metal Gear. Limited run releases. I get every one of them. So here we've got the Metal Gear. I almost did it again. Metal Gear. Metal Slug, the anthology. I originally had this on the Wii. I would not like to play these on the Wii. I want to play these on the PS4. And this has a bunch of the Metal Slug games on it. God, my throat's going dry. Metal Slug 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Metal Slug X. I love me some Metal Slug. I used to play it in the arcade on those like SNK coin ops that had like 4 games in one that you had to select which one you wanted to play. I would play it all the time. Awesome running guns, like a little silly version of Contra. And everyone's kind of chibi, which is kind of funny, but absolutely love it. It's a fantastic series. And then they also released Metal Gear Double X, And this one is its own game. I don't know if it's big enough to need an entire disc to itself, but I have not played it yet, so I shall find out eventually. I'm just going to play through all of these games at once. Like one after another in succession, see what's up. I tell you, I've been a subscriber on your channel for a few years and I always loved your content. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. With Metal Gear Solid Ground Zero, the Xbox 360 version had a mode unlock where you're hunted by snatchers from the old Konami game. Only reason you still hang on to it? I did not know that. That's cool. I did not know that at all. I had the PS4 version of Ground Zeroes. Metal Wolf Chaos XD. I got this at GameStop. I will never shop at GameStop again. You want to hear that story? Come tomorrow to the stream about the pickups. I'll talk all about how much I hate GameStop now. I guess this is a GameStop exclusive, and this is a remaster of an original Xbox game that was only available in Japan from software, and I guess it was highly sought after, and it still is. But I mean, there were so many requests for it to come over here, and it never did. That I guess From Software found someone to remaster it for them. That ended up being, I guess, Devolver. And there's no pictures on the back, just this stupid presidential seal thing. It's like a giant mech game, and you're just destroying everything. So it's like a Michael Bay movie with a mech. I have not played it yet, but I remember Metal Jesus talking about how awesome it was because he ended up going to Japan, finding a copy on the Xbox, brought it back with him, and I was like, I need to play this. It sounds awesome. Still haven't gotten around to it yet. And then here is a clearance game. I still have the clearance sticker on it. I should probably take it off. Well, anyway, I paid $10.99 for this at Target, and that is Metro Exodus. This is it comes with a dynamic theme. Big whoop. So these Exodus games, I do believe, are first-person shooters, and it's like a dystopian future kind of thing in Russia, I think. Have not played any of them. I've been buying them so I can play them, but I just never got around to it. And then we have Metro Redux, which I do believe is a remaster of the first two games. Immerse yourself in the tunnels of the metro deep beneath the ruins of post-apocalyptic Moscow. I cannot read that. Something about survival first-person shooter experience. So it has Metro 2023 Redux and Metro Last Light Redux. So it has the two original games redone for the PS4. I need to play through these. I definitely do. Yeah, is that a hard one to come by, that 360 version of Ground Zeroes? Love that Raccoon City incident. Here's another limited run game. I streamed this for one day. Half the video got silenced because of licensed music. But this game is super fun and unique. I really, really liked it. So if you can find a copy of this, I highly recommend it, especially if you love rhythm games. And that is the Metronomicon Slay the Dance Floor. So there's no real pictures of the game, but picture this. Picture an RPG. You have a wizard, you have a rogue, you have a healer, you have a barbarian. And you have a rhythm game. You have a bad guy who needs to be fought. And there is a song playing. And these are all licensed songs in here. I found a really awesome song in here from a band called Shiny Toy Guns, called Live It Up, I think it's called. That is an earworm like you would not believe. Look it up if you can. Shiny Toy Guns, Live It Up. And basically you fight to the beat of the song. And you have to pick which character you want to do the attacking. So you've got this beat that's going boom, 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 boom. And every fourth beat, you have to pick what you want to do with each character. So you can attack with the barbarian on the fourth beat. And then you can heal with the fourth beat on the next one with the healer. And then you can shoot an arrow with the next fourth beat. And the bad guy attacks to the beat as well. It is so much fun. It's just the thing is, so you have to go back and forth between selecting. It's almost like a strategy game as well, because you need to pick who is appropriate to do the next move. Can I keep attacking? Because you're taking hits as this is happening. Can I keep attacking? Should I buff somebody so their attacks are better and waste a turn or waste an attack to do this? It is so much fun, guys. I highly recommend picking up a copy of it if you can. I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Super unique and fun. It was a really cool twist on a rhythm game and kind of like an RPG because you end up leveling your characters up and getting different moves and stuff for them. It's awesome. Wasn't a huge release, probably because it was close to the end of that generation. It was one of those games that cross-gen released like Wolfenstein New Order. Here is one of those games that got crowdfunded and everybody complained about the final product. I thought it was okay. I didn't complain. I didn't beat it, but I played it enough to get the gist of what's going on, and I didn't hate it. And that is Mighty Number 9. I don't know what this cross-buy means. Oh, cross-buy. Oh, if I bought this, I can play it on the Vita, too. Ooh. Includes the Ray expansion. Whatever. So this is made by the dude who created Mega Man, and it's supposed to be like the spiritual successor to the Mega Man franchise. It like took forever to get made. I think there was problems with like actually fulfilling the I don't want to call them gifts, but like the things that people had paid for during their campaign on Kickstarter and all that. And then when the game came out, it was really buggy, especially on the Wii U. Thankfully, I never bought the Wii U version. I bought this off of Amazon. I never kickstarted it. I don't like kickstarting video games because there's absolutely zero guarantee that game is actually ever going to get made, especially when it comes to like stuff like this and like, what was it, Shenmue and Bloodstained. You never know. So I'm not going to play around with my money like that. Like if it gets finished and they release it physically, for people to buy off of like a website, I'm fine. I don't want to do the whole Kickstart thing. But yeah, it plays like a Mega Man game, sort of, but it's all about like absorbing the people that you defeat. And people expected this to just be a Mega Man game, and it's not. It's called Mighty Number 9, not Mega Man. And I think that's what everybody hated was it was not a real Mega Man game. Well, it's not supposed to be. It's something new. It was supposed to kick off a new franchise. There was even like a cartoon planned with this character. Like, I guess that was one of the stretch goals or something. And that didn't happen. But from what I played, I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. But it's definitely not great. It could have been a hell of a lot better. But I don't see all the hate. I don't have like that huge nostalgia bomb for Mega Man like a lot of people I know do. So it didn't really affect me. Great ad campaign for Mighty Number 9. Yeah, that's why I haven't bought Alan Wake. Wesker, if it doesn't get a physical release, I don't play it. The only game I was willing to do that for was the add-on for Cyberpunk 2077, the Phantom Liberty, and I was that close to buying the one for Baldur's Gate 3 because I want to play that so bad. And then I heard there's a physical version coming out, and I said, nope. Oh, this is actually, it's in the font of Metal Gear, but it's actually another YouTube channel that I watch, Game Beaters. I'm part of the Jank Squad. You can see it on their Jank Squad. I'm part of the Jank Squad. They sent this to me as a gift. Next up is a prequel to one of my favorite games that came out on the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and that is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And I absolutely love the first Mirror's Edge. It's a first-person action parkour game that's like takes place in another dystopian future where like the government controls all sorts of communication. So the only way you can get messages to and from people without being monitored is like in person, and the couriers like use the rooftops of buildings to get around and all that. It was really fun. I absolutely loved it. I loved it so much that I planned out a movie version in my head. I have the whole thing planned out in my head still. I would love to make a film version of this. It would be so cool. And then the prequel came out, and I heard about all the shit going on in it that I never actually played it. I bought it way after it came out. I bought this at like GameStop used during like one of their buy two get one free sales. But from what I understand, there is so much like microtransaction BS in this game that it kind of ruins it. So I still haven't booted it up to try it out. I hear the game itself is actually good, but all this other stuff just kind of like ruins it a little bit. So I need to go back. I'm going to go back and play the first one again because I absolutely love it. And then I'm going to definitely go through and play this. Next up is I got this, I do believe. Did I get this? Where did I get this? Did I get this when I was out with I got this out with, I think, the guys when they came to visit in August. I think. Yeah, I'm at a total loss. I think I got this when Captain Algebra and TJ Kitsune and Mega Man came out to visit, and Rocket Sauce came out to visit me for my birthday in August. And we went game hunting around Chicago. Here is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Burst Forth Chorogon Breath. That's a hell of a name. Or maybe it was, or maybe I bought this because TJ bought. No, TJ bought this and he showed it off in one of his pickup videos, and then I was like, "That sounds awesome," because this is a vertically scrolling shmup, like a bullet hell shmup, and I love me those bullet hell shmups. And when he brought it up, I was like, "Yeah, I need to have that." And I think this was pretty cheap when I bought it. I can't remember. This one's kind of, I'm foggy on, but I do believe it was TJ who bought it, and then I bought it because I saw his. Yeah, I played through both of those games, Wesker. They're both good. The second one is not as good as the first, but they're both fantastic. I can't wait for a third one. I just wish that they would revamp the fighting and make it more like it was in the first game. Here's another one of the first limited run games I got. I still have not opened it. This is a one-on-one fighting game. Oh, God, what is this thing called? Mitsurugi Kamui Hikai? Or Hikai? Hikai? Mitsurugi Kamui Hikai, I guess. But one-on-one fighting game. I love my one-on-one fighters. I just haven't been able to get around to playing it. Another limited run game. This one's pretty late on, but this one is Momodora Reverie Under the Moonlight. And I do believe this is a Metroidvania. If I remember correctly, I think this one is a Metroidvania. And there's a couple of games in this series, too. I do believe one of them is like only PC, like it's only available on Steam and never got like a console release, but I love my Metroidvanias. Had to get these. Absolutely. Well, this one, the other one I got on the PS5. Mortal Kombat XL. This is the complete edition of Mortal Kombat 10. And I absolutely love my Mortal Kombat. I mean, duh. Thing is, I'll buy the core game when it first comes out. I will not buy any of the DLC. And I'll play this until I'm done with it. And then once the complete edition comes out, I'll get rid of my old one, get the complete edition, and then call it a day. And then go play through this with all of the new characters. So this has all of the DLC characters available for this game built into it, which are Bo Raicho from Deception, Leatherface, Jason Voorhees, and I think this is the one with the Triborg, which has it's Cyrax, Sector, and Sub-Zero cyborgs all in one. And I love this game. I love the story of it and everything. This is like one of the first. This is the first one where the story I thought was like. I mean, the story for the ninth one, the one that was like considered the reboot, like just Mortal Kombat Part 9. That was a really cool story itself. But this is the one where it got me, where it started off with the whole Revenants thing. I thought it was great, absolutely fantastic. And then Mortal Kombat 11 story mode. Woo! Crisis Core. I still have to finish playing the remake. I still have 2023 was supposed to be my year of the RPG, and I played 2. I'm playing Diablo 4 right now. That's considered an RPG, I guess. I played a couple, but I started off playing Final Fantasy VII Remake at the beginning of the year, and I have not finished it. So here is one that was released through Special Reserve Games, and I completely missed the boat on it, and it was bummed. I was completely sold out by the time I was aware of it, and like I said, I was really sad. And then I went to visit Church, the Game Grinder, in Minnesota. This was like the first time I did it, so 2021, I do believe, was when I flew out there for Thanksgiving. And it was me, Church, and Cardboard Zero, and then eventually Movie Tom showed up, and we all beat this together. It's a beat 'em up, like a throwback beat 'em up, kind of like Streets of Rage. But you can have 4 players simultaneous. That is Mother Russia Bleeds. The only thing is, the twist of this one is you're all a bunch of convicts and you're all drug addicts, and you take this drug that makes you more powerful, And the thing is, if you use the drug during the final battle, you all lose. They don't tell you that, but every one of us was having such a problem with the final boss that we all started using like the drug power-up thing. And at the end of the game, it's like, you beat the bad guy. Now you all die. You all die of a drug overdose. We're like, shit. So we got the bad ending. Eventually, I wanted to get a copy of my own, and I do believe I got this off of eBay. It was going for a whopping amount of money for a long time. It was really expensive, and I was not willing to pay for it. And then eventually it dropped down to the point where I was like, I think I can afford $40. $40 sounds fair. And it's number 1014 out of 1200. And it was used when I got it, but it's in great shape. And it also comes with this awesome, thick manual, which is pretty rad. How often do you get manuals with modern games? Not very often. Great game. Highly recommended if you love beat 'em ups. Awesome pixel graphics. The music is fantastic. The fighting mechanics are really fun. Yeah, I think they said there's not going to be any DLC like they did with the first game for Final Fantasy Remake. So I might buy Rebirth as well. Signalis, I don't think I have that one. But this one I beat. Why is this all beat up? I don't know. Did I bump it or something? I don't think I damaged the artwork. Did I? Holy shit, what did I do? Oh well. Anyway, when I was doing my 31 Days of Licensed Games series back in 2021, was that 2021? No, that was the beginning of 2022. That was January 2022. I wanted to play through this game because I wanted to see if I wanted to include it in the series. And I played through it, and it is a fantastic Metroidvania game, and I definitely included it in the list. We're talking The Mummy Demastered. So this is based off of the Mummy film with Tom Cruise that came out a few years ago, which I absolutely could not stand. So initially I was like, I'm not buying that. Why would I want to buy a game based on that terrible-ass movie? Well, it turns out it's made by WayForward, who was one of my all-time favorite developers, and it's a Metroidvania, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Tom Cruise. You play as like one of the soldiers from the military operation that Russell Crowe's character, Dr. Hyde, works for, and you're running through the catacombs underneath London looking for Aminette so you can kill her. And when you die, your character becomes a zombie, and then you start to play as a brand new soldier, and once you find that zombified version of the character you used to be, you kill them, and you get all the equipment that they had that you had been uncovering as you were playing, and you continue on. It is so much fun. It's a fantastic Metroidvania. The graphics are great. The control is perfect. The music is amazing. It's WayForward at their finest, I think. I absolutely love this game. I highly recommend it. Waves and Games! You love it when the manual's tick. What's up, Peter? Oh, if you guys are saying it's great. Yeah, it does slap. It is so good, man. I listen to it in my car. I have a bunch of tracks. Peter can attest to this. Waves and Games can attest to this. My little memory stick, I have a huge amount of video game music. I have a playlist of video game music that I listen to in my car, and there's a bunch of tracks from Mummy Remastered in it. This is one of the first games I got for my PS4. I got this at the disc replay that is no longer around by me, and I'm bummed about it because I love that place. But Murdered Soul Suspect, and this is, I do believe, a third-person adventure game where you're playing as a ghost and you're trying to solve your own murder. And that sounded really fun. Not enough fun to actually like boot it up and play it though, which is a bummer because I wish I did. I need to go back and play all these games, man. I'm actually doing pretty good right now when it comes to playing my games. I'm like making damn sure within the space of a month I beat 5 games. That's unheard of for me. Next up is a game I picked up at the exchange down the street, and I do believe Tiger Chainsaw just talked about this not too long ago. That is Mutant Road. What is it? Mutant Road to Eden, the deluxe edition. I do believe this is a tactics style game where you're playing as, humanized animals and stuff. And this was dirt freaking cheap. I was brand new when I bought it. I got it for like 10 freaking bucks. So I picked that up. Here's another limited run game. I don't remember what kind. I think this is a runner. That is N++. I do believe this is one of those running games where like you're constantly running and you just have to like avoid obstacles and stuff. Once again, limited run, get with the packaging and show us what the hell kind of game it is if we can't remember, because I can't. This is like an old-ass game that I bought from them, and it is super freaking heavy, too. There's got to be a thick-ass manual in here. I don't know why they would if it's a runner. Well, I'll find out eventually. I do have a huge playlist of game music. Guys, Peter, you guys didn't even hear half of it. Never played it? Here's another one from Limited Run, and this is Neurovoider, the limited edition, and I do believe this is a twin-stick shooter. Yeah, futuristic twin-stick shooter RPG. Battle through the horde of vigilant robots, boost your character with the smoking remains of your victims, and defeat the master Neurovoider. And I want to say... No, I think it was this game that they were playing. I'll talk about that next. So, I love me a good twin-stick shooter, so that's why I bought it, but... Still haven't played it. Like I said, all these things were coming in so fast I couldn't keep up. And there's another limited run game. And this is Nex Machina. This is the one I was thinking that was, because I do believe Gaming Off the Grid was streaming this at one point. I think it was the last time I watched one of their streams is when they were streaming this game, and it looked super fun. And I was like, I'm glad I own that. But it's another twin-stick shooter, science fiction-y. No artwork, or just some artwork, no gameplay on the back. Damn it! Like I wish that they would stop doing that. But that was like early. Had to get this because of who helps design these games, and we are talking the day one edition of Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. I do believe there's like a complete edition of this out there now that I should probably look for, but I wanted to get this. It's an RPG, but Studio Ghibli, who made like Princess Mononoke and Nausicaa Valley of the Wind and The Cat Returns and Porco Rosso, you know, Studio Ghibli. They did all the artwork for the first game, and I do believe this one as well. So it's very cartoony, but it's an RPG. I hear both of them are actually really, really good. This includes a special sword set. I haven't played any of them, though. Sadness ensued. On a PS4 game called Fist, Forged in Shadow. Torch also bought it for PS5 and found things on the game. There are so many games out there, I can't keep up. Here's a game I have played. And I couldn't get into it, and a lot of my friends got mad at me for it. And that is Nier Automata, or Automata. So Nier is a pretty... I guess it didn't start off being pretty popular. The original Nier game came out on the PS3. Wasn't a huge hit. I guess it was okay in Japan, to the point where they made a sequel, this. And like this is where the franchise took off. Eventually we got a remake of the first game on the PS4, which I hear is awesome. I watched Nintendo stream some of that, and it looked pretty rad. But like when it came to this game, everybody was hyping it up when it came out, and I finally was like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. I think I got this on Black Friday. And I started to play, and I played it for like a good 3-4 hours, and 3-4 hours in, I was like, I am not enjoying myself at all. This is boring as hell. I could not get into it. And then everyone's telling me like, oh, you have to beat it like 3 or 4 times to get the full story. I was like, I barely played through this the one time. What makes you think I want to play through it 3 more times? No. I hate it when games do that. Just give me the game and there. And I hate all this post-content stuff. Just give me the game all at once. Ugh. But a friend of mine came over for the podcast that I do called The Movie is Starting, which is the movie commentary podcast. And we were talking before we were recorded. And I was like, oh, you playing any games? Because I knew he was a gamer. And he's like, yeah, I'm having a hard time justifying the amount of time that I've been putting into Nier Automata. And I was like, I know what you mean. Because I was playing it at the exact same time. I could not get into this to save my life. I think I'll eventually try it again and see if I can get anything out of it, but I could not. But I did go to the concert, and I'm going to be going to another one. There was a Nier concert that came to town in 2020, right before COVID hit. Me, Church the Game Grinder, and Rocket Sauce and Game Grinder came down to me to go see it. And it's happening again in February, and we're going again. I don't care if I don't like the game. I love video game music. I love composed music, so I'm definitely going. Like, it's good. Art's great. Sounds great. Set is cool. Just not really my... Yeah, I could not get into it. Like, I just thought it was really boring. But then that's also part of, like, my thing is, like, I shouldn't have to play a game for 6 hours to get enjoyment out of it. I should be getting enjoyment out of it at the start. And if I'm not enjoying it, I'm just going to move on and play something else, which is kind of what happened with that. I'm glad people love it. Don't get me wrong. If you love it, No shame. Love it. Love it. I just couldn't get into it. Here's a I keep on talking about these limited run releases, a bunch of these remasters of old Sega CD full motion video games, and this is the OG right here. We got Night Trap. Actually, probably Sewer Shark came before this, but this is the one everybody knows. So Night Trap, they released this remastered on the PS4, and it's also available on the Switch, which makes me laugh. This is one of those games that almost got video games banned in the 90s. It was this, Mortal Kombat, and Lethal Enforcers that everyone was complaining about. I even did a video, when I was in college, I was majoring in psychology and minoring in film. And for my psychology class, we had to do like a presentation for our final, and I picked the topic of video game violence and its effect on people. And I did like this. I filmed my friend playing Mortal Kombat 2 at the local 7-Eleven. I filmed him doing the fatalities. I filmed the big scene from this game. I filmed a bunch of stuff from Lethal Enforcers and did my presentation, and I got a B. So I was okay. I did all right. But the game itself is like I was talking when it came to Double Switch, the remaster of that the Limited Run also released. So this one's all about timing. So you have a clock, and you're in control of a bunch of cameras and a bunch of traps. You have to remember at which time to go to which camera to set off a trap to capture the bad guys who are skulking around. And you have to capture so many before the story will start to advance. Same thing that happened in there is happening. That's happening here is what you had to do in Double Switch. Turns out though that the storyline, it looks like you've just got a bunch of like thieves trying to break into a house while there's like a slumber party happening with a bunch of young co-eds. No, it actually turns out it's about vampires, and it stars Dana Plato from Different Strokes. And the big scene in this game is really stupid. I remember when I recorded the scene and I showed it in class, I was like, this is the scene that almost got this game banned. And I showed it to the class, and what it is there's a girl brushing her teeth in the bathroom in a nightie, and like one of the little thief guys that wears all black comes up, and he has like this claw thing that he clamps around her neck, and there's a tube that comes off of it, and once he clamps around your neck, you see blood start going through the tube because he's sucking her blood out. You don't see anything stab her. You don't see anything like that. You don't see her go... and like her body collapses because of the blood. And they basically just drag her off screen, and it's like a real cheesy after-school special sort of way that they do it. It's really cheesy, and it's done tongue-in-cheek on purpose. And I'm like, I even said it to the class, I was like, that's the scene that has everybody in Congress up in arms, and everyone in the class went, what? The game itself is not great. Like I said, it's just controlling a bunch of cameras and hitting a button to set off a trap. That's all it really is, and then you watch a cutscene. But it's got its place in history when it comes to those full motion video games. Like I said, it's one of the OGs, so I had to have that. Stubby. What's up, Man Boy Cave? How's it going? I remember, you mean Final Hallway 13? Yeah, I never bothered. I heard so many bad things about that. Hogwarts Legacy, the game forced you to do side quests to progress the main story, and I wish the side quests were optional and you couldn't bring myself to finish the game on PS. Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't played that. So it's like a game you'd have to play over and over. It was. The whole thing was all about memorization, and back in the day, I was not willing to do that because, like I said, I was going to college at the time, so I was focusing mostly on studying and whatnot. So yeah, but then again, nowadays, that kind of game sounds fun, where it's just hitting a bunch of buttons instead of remembering all these combinations of things. It's just one button. Go to this camera, move the directional pad to that camera, hit the button, wait for the bad guys to move into position, hit the button to trap them, move on to the next camera, and watch some shit happen. I got this collection from Play Asia. I had a bunch of credit with them that I had left sitting around for almost a year, and I had to use it somehow, so I used it to buy this, and I ended up buying a bunch of other games while I was there. And this is the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. So this has remasters of Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. And these are the ones that were available on the Xbox and the 360 and the PS3. Not the Nintendo versions. These were the 3D third-person ones that were really, really freaking hard. Remember, we got Ninja Gaiden Black on the Xbox, which is the upgraded version, was even harder. I love these games. Like I said, they are difficult as all hell, but I love the fact that I get 3 games in one, and I get 3 games off of my shelf so I can clear some space. And I can get some trophies in the meantime. Basically, Peter. Basically, by the way, I watched the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Finally, it was on. I got a Black Friday deal on a Peacock subscription. It was like $20 for a whole year. So I was like, for a whole year, I'll pay $20. But once that's over, I'm done. But they have it streaming there, and I'll review it Sunday in a short. Oh, Bloodborne! I have Bloodborne. Yeah, I had the complete version of Bloodborne. I had to get that from like the UK. Here is one that I got from, where was this? Strictly Limited Games. I think this was the first game I bought from Strictly Limited, or one of the first ones. And that is the Ninja Saviors: Return of the Warriors. So this is what the Super Nintendo Ninja Warriors game is, just made bigger. So it's widescreen and all that. I'm never going to be able to afford the PlayStation or the Super Nintendo Ninja Warriors game. I have the original arcade version of Ninja Warriors on the Turbo 16, or actually it's the PC engine, it's the Japanese version. It's a very slow game. It's not that exciting, and there's nothing really going on in it. It's just walk along, a guy walks up to you, kill him. Another guy walks up to you, kill him. There's more strategy involved and more moves available in the Super Nintendo, which is, I think, why everybody wants it and why it's so expensive. So this is the only way I'm going to be able to play it, because I'm not going to pay $600 for a Super Nintendo game. So that's awesome. And I can't remember where I got this. Did I get this from the Exchange? Not the Exchange. I think I got this from Disc Replay. And I didn't know anything about it, but I bought it because it was dirt cheap, and it's a fighting game, so I had to have it. And that is Nitro Blasters Plus. And it has a subtitle. Heroines Infinite Duel. And it's a one-on-one fighting game that features nothing but female characters. I don't know if it has anything to do with an anime or anything, but I saw a one-on-one fighting game, and it looks like Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue, so I picked it up because why not? Next up is, I picked this one up off of Amazon. It was discounted, and this one is called No Straight Roads. And this is another rhythm game. It just says funky as heck. Lead the musical revolution and fight for your right to rock in an all-new action-adventure. Hijack concerts, defeat musical megastars, and use the power of rock to take back the vinyl city from a corrupt EDM empire. That's funny. Use rock to destroy EDM. And I saw some video of this. The graphic style is absolutely fantastic. I don't recall if the music was any good because I haven't played it. I haven't opened it yet. But I love me a good rhythm game, so I had to pick this one up. I think I got that for like $10 off Amazon. Have you said what your total PS4 collection is at? Oh, God, let me go get my phone. I can tell you. It's a lot. Hang on, I'll be right back. Let me put on the Peter's music. Okay, so this total includes my PlayStation VR games, because I keep them. They're PlayStation 4 games. I mix them in. I keep them mixed in with the regular PlayStation games. I'm not talking about them now. They're going to get their own video. But when it comes to PlayStation 4, I have 551 games. That is crazy. And there's actually one I'm selling. I'm getting rid of right now, so 550 probably. That's a lot. Love rhythm games. You should get that one, Peter. You probably love it. And then I picked this one up because it was on sale at the Exchange, and I do believe part of it is full motion video, but it does have a PS5 upgrade. This is available for the PS5 proper, but I said, why not? I'll get this because it's cheap. And it's the Observer System Redux, and it says, what if your fears were hacked Become an observer with new stories and expanded gameplay. So I guess this is a computer game that got a different version for the home consoles. But you can tell on the cover, Rutger Hauer is in this game. You know, Roy Batty from Blade Runner, which is awesome. Which is one of the reasons why I wanted to get it, because he died not too long after this came out. So I wanted to get this. I'll play it eventually. I think Captain Algebra played it. I can't be sure, but I think it's awesome. Yeah, that's a lot. You left Sony after PS2, Xbox told me freshman year of college. Well, get over it, bro. Get over it. Variety is the spice of life, bro. So another limited run game. This is limited run number 4, the 4th game they ever released. This is new and tasty Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. So this is the remaster of Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. I absolutely love the Oddworld franchise. Love, love, love it. So the original 2 games, well, there's 2 games that came out on the PlayStation 1, and then there's 2 games that came out on the Game Boy. Well, one on the Game Boy, one on the Game Boy Color. They are like a cinematic platformers, kind of like Prince of Persia, where the animation is really overdone and kind of stuff like that, but it's a side-scrolling platformer, and they are super fun. I love the story. The whole idea that Abe finds out that the factory he's working at where they're making food is actually his people is the food, and he's basically making Soylent Green out of himself, and he decides to rebel. They're fantastic, and they started spinning off into some weird directions. So they made another side-scrolling platformer kind of one called... oh God, it's someone else's Odyssey. It's one of the bad characters. I can't remember his name now. If only I had this device that can tell me things I want to know, right? It's on the Xbox. Original Xbox. Where are you? There you are. Shit. God damn it. I can't remember the name of it, but there was a spin-off, and there was another one that was a first-person shooter, and then the franchise kind of ended. It finally came back when the PS5 came out, when they released another game in the franchise that has to do with Abe, which is amazing. But this was, if there was ever a game I was going to get from Limited Run that I had to get and get into my collection, it was this one. And I was super thrilled that I was able to get a copy of it. They even released it for the Vita at the same time. I wish I bought that too, because after that, Stranger's Wrath, that's the one that was the first-person shooter. God, what's the other one? There's someone else's Odyssey. Shit. Munch's Odyssey. That's it. Thank you, Peter. And Stubby. Thank you. I wanted to get every single Oddworld game out there. I didn't care if I owned it on another console. I wanted to get I want to get it everywhere. And the only one I'm currently missing is that Vita version, but it is super freaking expensive. So I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying it when I had the opportunity when I got this. But I was like, I just want to get it for one console. I'll get it either for the Vita or I'll get it for the 4. I got it for the 4. But in hindsight, I kind of wish I did both. Sadly, I did not. And then we have Onichanbara Z2 Chaos. This is one of the first PlayStation 4 games I bought. Bikinis plus swords plus zombies plus chainsaws equals chaos. So all I saw was a girl in a bikini wearing a cowboy hat and wielding a samurai sword. I think I need to play that game. Turns out it's a franchise I didn't really know anything about. There's one on the Wii, and there's another one somewhere else. PlayStation 3. No, sorry, Xbox 360, I think. I do believe, the one on the 360. But I didn't realize it at the time when I had bought this. But I had gotten the Banana Split Limited Edition. Trying to say something there about wieners? And this limited edition comes with this thick-ass behind the bikini, that's suggestive, book, which is all art from the game. And it comes with a soundtrack, but it does not tell you how many tracks there are, which is BS, I must say. It just says music selection. Does it say on the back? Nope, just says music CD. That's a bunch of BS. I played this a little bit when I first got it to see what it was, and it's a third-person like hack and slash adventure-y game, and it's fun, but it is a little jank, which is kind of why I think I stopped playing it, because I was like, I'd rather play something better. But I think the franchise kind of stopped here. I don't think there's any other games in this franchise, but it's basically scantily clad women with samurai swords hacking and slashing bad guys up. What's not to like? Wiener jokes everywhere. Wiener, wiener, chicken diener. I won't see the chat until the next game. Check out your back, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I love Oddworld. The Oddworld franchise. I know we got the new one. We got Soulstorm. I got that for the PS5. Spoiler alert! Absolutely love that series. Here's one of the first games, I think. It was one of the big games, the first big games that came out for the PS4, but it was also it got a lot of crap. And I kind of avoided it because of the crap it was getting. Everyone was saying, like, for a $60 game, this game takes 4 hours to beat. Like, don't waste your time. So I was like, I won't. And then I found it dirt cheap at a GameStop for like $10, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it now. That is The Order 1886. So it's I do believe, a first-person shooter, and you can beat it in like 4 hours, apparently. From what I understand, it's mostly like a tech demo to show off what the PS4 can do. But it's like a Victorian-era first-person shooter. I think it sounds awesome. I don't mind a short game. Glad I didn't pay $60 for it. $10 is, as far as I was willing to go. And I also bought it way down the line. Like, it had been out for years by the time I bought it. Ask me about my winner! I did not, Peter. I did not watch I have not watched Nickelodeon since 1984. That was when You Can't Do That on Television was still on. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Then we have the Outlast Trinity. This is actually the trilogy. They call it Trinity instead. It's 3 Outlast games. So you got Outlast, Whistleblower, and Outlast 2. So these are survival horror games, but you don't really get weapons in it. It's basically you just trying to survive. So the first game I have played, you're in like a mental institution, like an abandoned mental institution. And there's some guy out there trying to kill you, and all you have is your camera. And it's about hiding and just trying to find nooks and crannies to hide in so the guy can't get you. It's really stressful. It's really cool. And it turned out to be really, really popular because, look at that, we got 2 more sequels, which I have not played. But I was super thrilled. They were digital only at first. I was really thrilled when they decided to finally release all 3 of them at once in one package, physically. So I jumped on that. Here is another limited run game that I have not played. I don't even remember what kind of game this is. It just says the emotional adventure game you need to know about, says IGN. We all know IGN knows what's up, right? But it's called Oxenfree. Like I said, I was buying every single freaking game that Limited Run released. Oxenfree is a supernatural thriller about a group of friends who unwittingly open a ghostly rift. You play as Alex, a bright, rebellious teenage girl who brings her new stepbrother to an overnight island party an overnight party gone horribly wrong. How you deal with these events, your peers, and the ominous creatures you've unleashed is up to you. There really isn't anything you can really tell from the pictures of the gameplay, but the art style looks pretty cool. So it's a horror game, so of course I had to get it. We'll see about Terminator Resistance on PS4 if it's good. I would find this game. Yeah, it's really good. The company that made that Terminator game also made that new RoboCop game that's out, which is amazing. Highly recommend that. It'll make you have feels. I love games that make me have feels. Here is another limited run game. Have not played, but this is Pang Adventures, and essentially this is the Buster Brothers. I guess in Japan, Buster Brothers is called Pang Brothers. So what it is like an old school one-screen arcade game. You're at the bottom of the screen. There's a bunch of balloons above you in different patterns. You have like a gun that you shoot straight up that has a hook and a rope attached to it, and your job is to pop all these balloons. And that's all there is to it. Pop all the balloons, get points, move on to the next stage, different configuration, keep on doing it, and it's multiplayer. I really love the Buster Brothers. I have one of the Buster Brothers collections. Yeah, I have the Buster Brothers collection for the PS1, so I had to get this. Here's another one I'm surprised I have not opened. I will probably open this and play through it when I go on vacation in a couple weeks for the end of the year. That is the limited run released Panzer Dragoon remake for the PS4. So originally when I bought this from limited run, I bought the Switch version. And it was at that point in time where I was just trying to get as many Switch games as I could. And then the more I thought about it after I'd already purchased them, I was like, I'd rather just play that on the PS4 and get some trophies or something. And I'd also have the ability to stream it through the PS4 if I wanted to. You can't really do that on the Switch. So I was like, damn it. So I would always end up I get my copy for the Switch, I would sell it on eBay, and then buy the PS4 version. I just did that with another game I'll talk about in tomorrow's stream. But this is a remaster of a really awesome Sega Saturn game. I absolutely love this franchise. I wish we would get a remake of Panzer Dragoon Saga. And it's basically like playing Star Fox, but you're riding the back of a dragon. So it's like an into-the-screen shooter. You're riding on the back of this really cool fantasy-looking dragon, and you basically have a reticle. You drag it across all the enemies coming at you from the background, and you highlight them all. You let go of the attack button. You shoot a bunch of lasers at them and kill them. Keep on doing that. It's all about the environments and the music and kind of getting into a rhythm. It's a super awesome game, especially on the Saturn. I love all of the ones on the Saturn and the one on the Xbox. So I had to get this. I'll probably play through it, like I said, later on in December. Stray is fantastic. I absolutely love Stray. It's really short, but it's fun and it's cute. Had to get this. I ended up getting this through Play Asia because it was only released physically in Japan. So I had to get it through them. And that is the remake of Parappa the Rapper. Rhythm Games! And I did stream this, and I beat it on stream. And funnily enough, of all the games that I was streaming on Twitch for a while, it was the Batman Arkham games. I played through the first two Batman Arkham games. I played through Donut County. I played through Uncharted Lost Legacy, all in one sitting. I beat the whole game in one sitting. I started playing it at 8 o'clock at night, and I didn't beat it until 4 in the morning. This was the game that I streamed that I've gotten the most amount of viewers I've ever gotten, which shocked the hell out of me. I had 30 people watching me stream this damn game. People I didn't even know existed. And some of them ended up sticking around and actually talking to me when I stream other games, which is great. So I absolutely loved this game when it came out for the PS1. It was one of my favorite rhythm games, the first big one I ever played. Basically got me into rhythm games. It was the combo of this and playing Beatmania at the arcade at the GameWorks that was by my house, and loved every minute of it. I started finding out how to do the freestyle sections, which were awesome and all that. I couldn't tell you how to do that now, but when the remake came out, the remaster, I absolutely jumped on it, and it's still super fun. The level with the chicken where you're trying to cook is one of the worst stages in this game. It is super hard. I was plowing through every single stage until I got to that stage, and I could not get the rhythm down for some reason. I just could not master that. I played through that stage 40 times on stream. But finally beat it on stream. It was fantastic. Just as good as I remember being. The songs are still catchy as hell. In the rain or in the snow. Got that funky, funky flow. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love it. Now we just need a remaster of Jammer Lammy. Gal Guardians. Everyone's been talking about that. I've been talking about getting that myself. You gotta believe! Oh my god, the flea market is the easiest one. In the rain or in the snow. Got that funky, funky flow. But now I really gotta go. Next up is, I need to play this. I'm surprised I haven't. There's a... my throat is going dry, man. There's a sequel available for the PS5 that I need to get. We're talking Plague Tale: Innocence. So this is a third-person adventure-y style game. Follow the grim tale of young Amicia, as her little brother. I cannot read this. The font is so tiny. In a heart-rending journey through the darkest hours of humanity. Whatever. Church the Game Grinder swears by this and the sequel, so I definitely got to play it. He says that you don't want to talk about a game that hits you in the feels. From what I understand, this one will definitely do it. But I think it's a third-person action game. Here Here's another limited run game. It is loose. I should probably open this to put the disc in so it doesn't get all scratched up. Want to see an unboxing? Let's do it. I'm opening a limited run game, guys. That's unheard of in this house. Oh, yep, it was loose. And I bought this because, number one, it's a licensed game. In the last generation, we were not getting a lot of licensed games. We are getting a lot now, which kind of makes me happy because they're actually pretty good. We didn't get a whole lot last generation, which is kind of sad. But when I see one pop up, I do pick it up. And this is Planet of the Apes, Last Frontier. And it does the play link thing. This is kind of like playing Jackbox. So you get a bunch of people together. I think you play on your phone. Yeah. So one person is like the dungeon master kind of thing, and the other players are using their phone, and then you make choices on the phone. So it says Planet of the Apes Last Frontier is a narrative adventure game of conquest, betrayal, and survival. When the fates of a tribe of apes and a band of human survivors intertwine, two worlds collide as their precarious existence hang in the balance. 19 different endings, 14 hours of gameplay, local multiplayer for up to 4 players. PlayLink for PS4 is supported. App available from Android and iOS. That sounds like a lot. It sounded like a lot of fun. I've never gotten around to playing it. I don't know anyone else that bought this. Anyone has this? Let me know. Maybe we can get a game going. I would love to try it out. So we shall see. Even got a sequel. Which one are you talking about? Oh, Plague Tale? Yeah, Plague Tale got a sequel. I need to get that. Had to get this from, I think I got this from Target? No, I bought this from PlayAsia, but I got the American version from PlayAsia. It just took forever to get to me. And that is the Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. So it's Pocky and Rocky Remastered. One of the most expensive Super Nintendo games out there. This is the only way I'm going to be able to afford to play it or be able to play it without spending, or having to sell a kidney to get the game. The only thing was it was sold out everywhere. No one had copies of this locally. So I had to get it off of, like I said, PlayAsia, but they had the American version there. So I picked it up. And it's a vertically scrolling shmup, but you're on foot. It's not like you're flying. You're like walking around like through Japan, and the things you throw are cards. And it's either you as this young geisha girl or a raccoon. Okay. And there's a sequel for the Super Nintendo, which is also super expensive. I will never be able to play that, but had to get this just so I could experience the game. I wish they remake or remaster Peter Jackson's King Kong from PS2 to modern consoles. That was a fun game. I know a lot of people gave that shit, but I liked it. Next up is an RPG I got last year for Black Friday. Have not played it either. And that is Poison Control. Not really sure. It's by NES America. Like I said, if I see an RPG by NES or Atlas or Axis and it's cheap, I buy it because I know it's not going to be cheap forever. And I could not tell you what this one is all about. It just says Purge, Poison, Raise Hell. It looks really colorful. I keep on buying all these RPGs and I never have the time to play them, which is a bummer. Had to get this because I don't own the original version of this. I wish I did, but I don't. And that is Power Slave Exhumed. So this was a first-person shooter that was available on the PS1 and the Saturn. I've never actually owned, not that I can remember the original version. I might have. It's one of those things I'm kind of blurry on from my past. But like I said, it's an old-school first-person shooter that takes place in like a pyramid in Egypt. And there's monsters and shit running around, and you got to kill them all. And that sounds awesome. And this one is just remastered. I need to play through this. I will definitely try to play through this during my vacation because I need to be a first-person shooter. Here is... So I was talking about Friday the 13th, the game, at the beginning of the stream, and how that got me into these online multiplayer games, like co-op multiplayer games and stuff like that. And I started playing a bunch of them after that. And one of the ones I probably played more than Friday the 13th is Predator Hunting Ground. It's made by the same people that made the Friday the 13th game, Ilphonic. So I guess when Friday the 13th stalled because of that lawsuit that I was talking about, they focused on this instead. And yeah, it's still janky as hell. It was like, it never was 100% right. There was so many times where like we'd be in the middle of an open area, and the predator, the guy who's like, so the whole idea is the same as Friday the 13th. So you can get, I think it's 3 people on your team. 3 people are playing soldiers. 1 person's playing the predator. Predator has the advantage. They're able to jump into the trees, use the trees to get around. They have all these crazy-ass weapons. They can track you by sound. And all you really have as the soldiers are weapons, like machine guns and knives and stuff. So someone will be playing as the predator. Me and my crew will be running through or walking through like a town or something or a village. And then the person playing as a predator, all of a sudden you would see them show up as a statue. Like they would be like this frozen statue. And it was the game glitching. And the person playing as the predator wouldn't be able to do anything because their character has just frozen in place. And for some reason it made them look like a statue. And then we would just go and beat the game. We beat the stage. So the ways you can beat the levels are you either kill the predator, or the predator can kill you. So you can escape the level by doing all of the objectives in the stage and then getting to a drop point and getting the hell out of there before the predator kills you. You can kill the predator, and then before the predator dies, he could possibly trigger his self-destruct, and you have to get out of the blast radius or you die. And that's how you beat the game that way too, is you survived the predator's self-destruct, or you can do some specific things to kill the predator, kind of the way you can kill Jason in a specific way in the Friday the 13th game. And we've done it every single way you can. We killed the predator, we actually killed him, and then you have to like protect the body for a while because all of a sudden you'll get surrounded by soldiers who are trying to get the body of the predator, and you have to hold out until like a helicopter can come and pick up the body and you can get out of there with it. It's crazy, but it is super fun. I was always playing this with Rocket Sauce and Church the Game Grinder and Jason from Corpse Flood Gaming and Captain Algebra too. It was so much fun. We just ended up petering off on it because like we were playing it, I think, too much. But it's a great game. I don't think it's being supported that much anymore. Eventually, you could download like Schwarzenegger and play as Schwarzenegger, which is awesome. Got a performance mode. And then here is a remake or a reboot, I guess, of this franchise that started on the Xbox 360. That is Prey. So it was a first-person shooter. I think you're playing as like a Native American dude who got like kidnapped by aliens or something, and it's you trying to escape their ship. I don't know if that's the same premise for this one, but it's another first-person shooter where you're taking out aliens and stuff. So I picked it up at Black Friday, dirt cheap, so why not? By Bethesda. Back then they were doing some good shit. Had to get these. So the original game came out on the original Xbox, and I played it, I rented it, and I was like, I don't see what the big appeal is. It was getting great reviews. Some of my friends that had played it were like, yeah, it's fantastic. And then I played it, and I was just kind of like, I don't think I gave it a fair shake. Because I've played the VR version. The VR version is great. But we're talking Psychonauts. So there is a remaster of Psychonauts on the PS4 limited run release this. So I figured I had to give it a go. I played it again on the Xbox, and I really liked it. Like, I guess, taste changes as you get older. So I played it again on the Xbox, and I was like, okay, this is actually pretty cool. So it's a 3D platformer, and you have some psychic powers, which is like the big twist. And it's pretty awesome. And then out of nowhere, there was a sequel announced, Psychonauts 2. This is the Motherlode edition, and the award-winning masterpiece. Motherlode edition includes a lenticular sleeve, reversible cover, 6 premium die-cut stickers, 6 art cards, and a digital download of the exclusive behind-the-scenes development work. So you can see it's got like this lenticular cover, which is pretty rad. I have not opened it. Well, I have opened it apparently, probably because the disc was loose, but I have not actually played the second one yet. But I got this off of Amazon pretty cheap. So I can play it eventually. I just need to get rid of this goo that's left from the sticker that was on here. But, yep. That is that. And that is it for tonight, guys. That's all I have in this block of games. Don't forget, there's still 2 more streams coming. Long way to go. And I will be back tomorrow, same time, 8:30 p.m. Central, for my November pickups stream. And it is going to be a lot of crazy Black Friday stuff. I got more than just games and movies, but I got plenty of games and movies, don't get me wrong, but there's also some extra stuff I'll be talking about as well. And I'll be doing a nice little rant for y'all about a certain retailer that can eat my ass. that pissed me off to the point where like I was stressing out big time about it because they're a bunch of a-holes. I'll talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Central, the new pickups for November 2023 stream. And there will also be a new short tomorrow morning. So within the space of 24 hours, you get 3 things from me. That's not common. And I'll be back again on Sunday with another short. So Prey was good, more like Bioshock in space than the first Prey. You waiting for some new Predator games? We got a good modern Terminator, Alien, Friday 13th, and RoboCop. Where's my new Predator? Yeah, I wouldn't mind a new Predator game. Or one based on Prey. Or just do like something the way Prey worked, where it was a different period in time and the Predator's loose. Like, I would love to see a Predator on a pirate ship or something like that. That would be awesome. Or like hunting Eskimos or something. You know, I don't know. Anything. But the way Prey did it was pretty awesome. Limited Run always makes awesome games. I haven't bought anything from them. Well, I've bought very little from them recently. Tomorrow Chris gets his ass eaten on stream. That's what you said, right? No, they can't eat my ass. Yeah, I had to change it, Wesker, because YouTube didn't like the A word being in my title anymore. Isn't that against terms of service? I would think so. Like, and then they're like picking all the hair out of their teeth and shit. So, whatever. Anyway, before this goes even more off the rails, hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Central, for the pickup stream. I will talk to you all later. Chris from Midlife Crisis, out. Talk to you next time. Stay safe out there, everybody.
Daddy, chill.